Greetings, dear ladies, dear star sisters. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. For some years now, I come before the meeting with a short message. This message follows that which has already been given. In this day, a few moments ago, a message was given about soul enhancement, explanation of that which is called walk-in, and also information about near-death experience. I want to extend that. It's a message for women. Dear ones, I honor the gender. And some of you don't know this. My partner is not listening. He has to listen later. This is an honor of the gender. Kryon is not a gender. Don't be fooled by the voice. I know about you. There are so many of you sitting here right now who are actually actively asking a question. And the question would be, do I relate to this? Perhaps you're coming to see if you relate to this. And this is the idea that you might have been a woman in Lemuria. And if that was the case, you would have been exposed to the Star Mothers. If that were the case, there's only a small element of humanism that exists today that would have had that experience. And if it was, why do you have to ask, was it real, or am I one of them, or did it happen to me? Don't you think it would be etched in your Akashic memory to such a degree that you would have sought out this meeting to hear more about it and who you were and to have remembrance and all that, and yet it is still in this moment hidden. It hides because of free choice. Even if you had profound teachings and came to wonderful decisions in those early days of humanism, you wouldn't remember it. Because the Akash is not that strong yet. You are still in that which is a very low percentage of evolvement of humanity, where the Akashic remembrance does not automatically carry sacred, beautiful things into the next life, as it will someday. But it doesn't. And yet, here comes information from the sisterhood, from Mele'ha, from Kryon, about all the things that might have occurred. And you still wonder, was it me? Was I there? When we spoke about near-death experience, we told you something we have never revealed before. The brain and the heart, the pineal, all together, the triad, contain certain programs. The programs are meant to give you awareness at the right time. It cannot simply be the brain. The brain is a computer. It can't simply be the heart. But when you complete the triad and you add the pineal, you get some magic. And the magic that I talk about is multidimensional activation. Did you know that most of your intuitive thoughts come from the pineal? Combination with the heart, not many of them from the brain. The brain is an instrument of logic. Intuition is not logical. Intuition is a feeling, a sensory of energy. And it includes timelessness. For intuition can not only tell you what you should feel, but perhaps what's coming. And so it is very involved in a program for that which is a near-death experience. And I told you what the program was. It's a safety valve. It's a revelation of truth so that you will not start to then fear death. And we told you earlier that as the body starts to shut down and believes that it's going into death, the program activates. It's benevolent. It's beautiful. It shows you truth. At that last possible moment, it thinks that you are dying. It doesn't know what you're going to do next. It doesn't know if you're going to survive or not, but the program runs. And the program shows you the light and the tunnel and the benevolence and feels the love of God, and you're not afraid. It's a program of truth, that death has no sting. It's a program that has been given to all humans so that in those last moments they will not go into fear and horror of death. Even the atheist, dear ones, gets the program. Did you ever ask, now that you know that, are there other programs? And the answer is yes. Anyone who has had a spiritual experience in any belief system where they change overnight and find the love of God in their heart, whether it involves a prophet or not, has had a program run. The program that says you're ready because you saw and you asked, and now you have the light where you didn't have before, and it sticks with you, and you change forever. And you can call it whatever you want to, but when you have a life shift in one day, where you have an aha that shows you things you didn't know before, didn't expect before, and they go right into your heart, that's a program. It's a program you've asked for because you're ready, and it almost always is revealing. And the revelation that you get in these kinds of programs will be the truth about your magnificence. And you change forever. And you've seen it, dear ones, not just in spiritual systems, perhaps even with yourself. An awakening that would even bring you to this meeting, but you still sit there and wonder about the Lemurian thing, don't you? There's a program, dear ones, that is meant to awaken the Lemurian woman. We've never spoken of it. But time after time and channel after channel, we've told you you were there to ask, to feel. And so right now, we invite the program to work. There's a lot of self-doubt that will stop the program. That's up to you. That's free choice. Am I or am I not a Lemurian woman in Lemuria at those times? And then you'll stick up your hand and say, well, I'm waiting. And the subconscious will say, nah. And the program will never run. You have to be in the most neutral, loving position of acceptance and unbiased to let that program start to run and say, of course you were. That's why the synchronicity brings you to the chair. What other reason would you have found out about this, shown up in this day, and sat there? Given of your resources to sit there. And yet you still wonder, was I or was I not? All the synchronicity that has brought you to the chair to hear truth, and you still wonder. Dear one, that is because of the teaching du jour. The teaching of the day will not necessarily support a truth that is so bizarre that would say you were one of the beginning ones and had a star mother sit in front of you And you could hear her words and her songs as she fed you the truth of God and the beginning of core teachings that you would then someday be able to talk about and repeat to others around you, perhaps even your children. Let the program run. It will give you chills of remembrance and joy. Let the program run. It'll say yes. Because if the program runs properly, you'll never be the same. You'll leave this place knowing not just that you are a magnificent human being, but it's come full circle. The place where you were there then is the place echoed where you are now. And the words of Mele'ha will be the same today as they were then. And try to enhance your belief of who you are. And that spills into society, dear ones. Think of it. If you have these teachings, you will begin to apply them. And it's going to show up in your personality. Some of you will say, well, it's nice, but I'm a bit too old to have a change like that. Really? I'll tell you something, dear ones, you need to hear. Today's awakening is for your next life and your next life and your next life and your next life. Don't get confused with age here. This awakening is permanent. You don't have to go through it again. When you arrive the next time, you'll arrive running with this program. I'm here on purpose. I have things to do. I know core truths. Some of you will be teaching your parents when you arrive. They won't know what to do with you. That is how profound the teaching here is. And of being in a sisterhood that celebrates such a thing as the beginning of humanity and the core teaching of a creator. Let the program run. Enjoy it, sing, and know that you are the real thing. And so it is.